Amit Anwani, research analyst at PL Capital, and my colleague Mihika will be partaking in this conversation as well. Thank you so much for giving us your time, Amit. My first question to you would be the Nifty Defense Index jumped about 4.5% yesterday, marking its strongest intraday gain since mid of April. It in fact is one of the top sectoral gainers today as well. Now, do you see this rally as a short-term reaction to India-Pakistan tensions, or does it signal a longer-term bullish outlook for the defense sector?
Right. So I think answer in two parts. Definitely, there's a sentimental element which is going on because of the geopolitical tensions happening, and this could indicate for the defense companies that there could be future orders coming in, the faster deliveries for arms, ammunition, and the defense platforms, which is expected. And we are hearing this from past 1 week after the Pahalgam terror attack. So I think that is one element. Definitely, sentiments are playing. But I have been talking about this that from the past 7, 8 years at least, the government has been talking about creating a very strong defense ecosystem, localizing a lot of platforms, including so the import component has gone up from it used to be 45-50% for a lot of platforms has gone down to 33%, 35%. So I think the focus is to localize, do a lot of technological collaboration and local Indian manufacturing. So that has happened. Second thing, if you talk about company to company, there's very strong momentum for defense electronics companies and also the aircraft and submarine companies, basis the kind of replacement the Indian Armed Forces and Air Forces has to do over the next 15 years. So coming to HAL, I think they have already built a very strong order book. I think they're structurally long term with respect to the deliveries which are scheduled for LCA, the two orders which they got 83 aircraft and 97 aircraft. So I think if you see the long term growth for HL can change because they already got 190 aircraft to be delivered. There are talks about a couple of more orders coming in for the fleet replacement. We want to replace almost more than 300 aircrafts over the next 15 years. So I think that way, directionally and regime-wise, things have changed for defense companies, and they are on the strong footing because of the government focus also in the past. Yeah. So I think this is one thing also we have been highlighting in past conversations, which is playing out in valuations as well.
Got it, Amit. I also want to, Amika joining here this side, I also want to focus on the key announcement that was made yesterday. I mean, the India-France Rafale deal of 63,000 crore, the pack side. Now, part of this deal does include an offset clause that pushes domestic production of the Rafale jet parts. Do you see any beneficiaries from this order itself? Because now this is something where the order or the deal is expected to be completed by 2030. So there is a medium-term play here.
Right. So if you see in the past when these deals have happened, the government to government deals, so the few of the companies are not in my coverage, but just to highlight that who might get benefited, the Astra Microwave has got orders. I think Apollo Microsystem has got orders. So these are companies who won few offset orders in the past. Data Batten won some orders for electronic warfare for I think a few platforms, and then I think for BrahMos that they got few offset few years back. So I think this especially the defense electronics ecosystem. I would say the sub vendor based ecosystem is largely a beneficiary for any offset clauses and government to government deals happening. And we have seen few companies seeing numbers and profitability going 2x, 3x in the past, especially all this smaller defense, private defense electronics companies. So I think the offset clause will definitely benefit the private defense electronics companies, especially. So that is there. Apart from that, I think not directly to offset, but Bharat Electronics has been a beneficiary at large when all these large orders are coming, whether to the HAL or also to Marzgaon Dock, because there's at least 5 to 15% defense electronics component in all these platforms, and the government narrated in their ambition for the current year that they want to focus on faster execution and faster clearances of orders, and that will be executed over next 5 to 7 years. So I think Bharat Electronics is a diversified play across three services and have been winning orders constantly last year. So I think they are also beneficiaries at large when the defense ecosystem is developing and orders execution are fasting up.
Amit, you mentioned on how the order booking has picked up, but with so much uncertainty and geopolitical volatility in India itself, does that kind of, could it defer the long-term capital outlay orders for something like the frigates, the 97 Tejas, the destroyers? Could they get deferred? I mean, we saw large ticket orders being expected even by something like a BEL last year, but this was deferred. So with different short-term requirements, could the long-term capital outlay, be delayed?
Right. So if you see, you rightly pointed with defense, there are few deferments and delays. But if you look at the longer ambition of the government, what they want to do, there have been orders raised to HL, right? So the order book was hardly 30-40,000 crore. Now they are sitting at 1,82,000, 2 lakh crore order. Bharat Electronics, I recollect, was 55,000 crore. Now they're almost 80,000 crore. And the deferment of order which you highlighted, I think QRSAM, which is one of the largest order they wanted to win, and few, I think, couple of more orders. But largely, I think there was some few months slippage, which I think is happening in few of the orders. But I would say this is much faster pace versus the last decade of 15 years and these 4-5 years and the future 2-3 years. I think the pace is much faster with respect to the order coming to the books of defense companies. And if you see across all the defense companies, there's a massive order book accumulation which has happened in past 3-4 years. And even government is trying for much more orders. So I think that way, if you see, they are on for 5 to 7 years of growth. And if today we look at just 2 years forward, maybe we can see valuations looking a bit expensive for few counters. I think OEMs are trading at 35, 33x, and but the defense companies, few of the electronics companies are trading at 40x and 35, 33x. But if you see, if you build in next 7-8 years of growth, I think they are in the very strong footing. Yeah.
Yeah, very well said, Amit. I think I mean, there's definitely a lesson there where you say that orders have become more rapid, they are healthy, and therefore they might be also projecting a strong growth in the future for many of the defense players. Now, my question to you is India spending enough to meet its defense goal? And could these recent developments in India-Pakistan diplomatic relations lead to an increase in the modernized defense budget? If I'm not wrong, it was about 1.5 lakh crore last. Do you think there could be an escalation in that figure?
Right. So see, our target has been, so as you said, I think 1,70,000 is the spending on capex, defense capex. And I think this should grow at least at 8 to 9% CAGR for next 5 to 6 years. And over next 5 to 6 years, government is targeting at least 9 to 10 lakh crores of domestic procurement for defense, including shipbuilding, aircraft, and missiles. So I think barring maybe 1 year, it could be 5%, second year, it could be 10%, but it looks that we'll be growing our defense budget for 7% for sure. There could be any year if the war happens or any situation arise that the budget might go up for next financial year on defense because things will be consumed while war. So that can happen, but I think for us, the long-term average is 7 to 8%. Now coming to where it is spent is more important, whether it is aircraft, helicopters, where the allocation is going to be higher. So past 2 years, the aircraft allocation was higher. We saw helicopter order coming in. We are trying to replace a lot of helicopters. So HAL is a major beneficiary. We saw orders getting cleared last month for helicopters also. For submarines, obviously, we are going to procure 3 additional submarines where MDL is a large beneficiary. They have delivered the 5 to 6 submarines already Scorpion series. And government wanted to add 3 more submarines, which could be as high as 25 to 30,000 crore plus order. So all these takes a lot of time to execute also, but definitely a bump up in revenues of these companies can come. So I think that is something which is where there could be a beneficiary.
Got
So
it.
I don't think that there could be 1 year where the growth will be better, but I think 7-8% is something we can expect as a defense capex growth for next 5 years.
Okay, so 7 to 8% growth in the next 5 years. Amit, we're short of time, but my last question to you is if you had to pick top 3 picks from a medium to long term specific at current levels, what would your picks be?
Right. So my coverage includes currently HL and Bharat Electronics. Bharat Electronics is my top pick. We have a buy rating with 340 rupees. HL, I believe, is a long-term story, though it is trading at 33, 35, but we are long-term very positive. There's a huge order book accumulation which has happened, and I think they can grow their top line at 12, 13% CAGR and also bottom line with a similar pace. Now, the companies who are not under coverage could be beneficiaries. I have been highlighting the private defense, electronic defense companies, which few names I highlighted. All these companies can be a beneficiary for stronger spending in defense and also the offset clauses. So this is what can happen with defense spend.
Got it. Quite an attractive set of stocks, I must say. But Amit, I would just want to quickly understand from you, how well do you think is the private sector capitalizing on these geopolitical tensions as compared to the larger PSUs in the defense space in India?
Right. So I think there have been talk of fast tracking few programs, including LCA, where we are expecting, private sector participating. L&T already supplying some parts, and there is a talk that Tata's and all other companies should also participate. On vehicle side, combat vehicle side, already Bharat Forge, Ashok Leyland, these companies are working. On defense electronics side, Adani has entered, and there are few other small private companies who are doing a lot of R&D to get the defense electronics product ready for the future programs. So I think on an overall ecosystem basis, there's a lot to capitalize because government wants a lot of indigenous component in each of the platform, and at the same time, there's a hell lot of replacement fleet. So a lot of fleet in Air Force is aged. We are short of squadrons versus 41, 42 approved. We are at 32, 33 squadrons ready. So I think there's a massive opportunity. Only thing we need to build on technology or technology transfers or local indigenous manufacturing on defense. I think for private sector, it will be one of the good growth opportunity in future years. Yeah.
Okay. With that, Amit, I'm so sorry that I had to hurry you through this conversation, but we've lost time, and I would really appreciate all your views. Thank you so much for joining us and getting us that perspective into how defense is currently playing out.
Thank you so much for having.
Most welcome.